Yo, we live, we live. Hey, check my live on my phone right quick. See how it sound. Check my live on my phone right quick. See how it sound. Live. Not too loud. Not too loud. So what's going on, everybody? What's going on? Late night stream, man. I know everybody done seen and heard about it. That the Diddy trial has started today, and I must say some of the things that I read and some videos I looked at online. Yo, this trial is crazy. Now we know it was a freak off, but we didn't know it was a freak off like that. Like this is crazy. So Diddy's in trial for sex trafficking, drugging women, beating women, all type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? But the main thing is racketeering of not drugging women, but trafficking women, sex trafficking. And today seemed like they were just talking about not really the sex taste, but like the sex situations that was going on. You know what I'm saying? So let's look at TMZ what they said, and I'm gonna play a video of somebody that was actually in the courtroom that really explained it. So we got TMZ right here, man. Diddy trial highlights: golden showers, freak offs, bribes. The golden shower is someone that got peed on, and you'd be surprised who that was if you didn't already know. First day of the testimony highlights. First day of the witnesses' testimony in Diddy's sex trafficking trial is in the books, and TMZ recapping all the notable moments from a busy day in the court. At the full day of pool, 12 jurors, 6 alternates. The prosecution came out swinging in their opening statements, claiming Diddy made a sex worker urinate in Cassie's mouth during a freak off sex party. Yo, that's crazy. So the feds alleged Diddy forced Cassie and another woman to participate in freak offs with male sex workers. And they also claimed that Diddy got violent with the women and sexually assaulted his former assistant. So the thing is, like, we already seen the tape that Diddy, beat up Cassie. You know what I'm saying? That's there. He's guilty basically on that for public opinion. You know what I mean? But that's not one of the things why he's in trial for. But today they basically just saying some crazy stuff. And like I say, we didn't know how freaky this guy was, man, and we didn't know how freaky Cassie was also. But let's play and see what these guys had to say. This thing on within Mormon culture. But yeah, I already seen some stuff that a lawyer that was inside, you know what I mean, like on Twitter and stuff like that, saying all type of stuff that security guard, one of the male escorts also that was on trial today, and it was some crazy stuff that they was saying, man. Like I didn't know it was that wild. And I thought when I saw the picture with the baby oil, I thought that was somebody just put that up there. I didn't know it was really they was really using a lot of baby oil, man.
Have been opening statements, and there is now testimony in the case. And the opening statements kind of predictably laid out the prosecution's case and Diddy's defense.
But what the prosecutors started with a bang, with a statement that clearly they knew would get a lot of headlines, but more importantly, get the attention of the jury, talking about details, graphic details from the freak-offs. And
we should warn the people watching this, this is going to get graphic.
Right. There's a reason that they last week kept saying that to all the prospective jurors, urinate on Cassie. And that he forced not only the escort to do this, but Cassie is the way the government lays it out.
So we talked about this in our morning meeting today. So let's just be real here. This is shades of R. Kelly. And that
the reason they brought that up first.
I mean, I don't think there's any question that R. Kelly paints a picture that kind of resonated with everybody. And the prosecution came out of the gate with something that sounded similar.
They want to show him, they want the jury to see him see Diddy parallel to R. Kelly, who everyone knows is going to be in prison for almost all the rest of his life.
And so,
so if you got him convicted,
of course, and that's
you want it right,
and that's effective.
Yeah.
They also, and I think this is going to become a really important part of this case on both sides. The prosecution painted Diddy as a violent, jealous man who could not handle any attention heaped on Cassie by any other man.
Right. And that was part of their argument around the videotape, which obviously they mentioned as well. They talk about that beating, and the government was setting up what they know that Diddy's side is going to say this was not about forcing her to stay. This was an.
So this is the video that they mainly wanted in the trial. And I know he's not being charged for this right here, but the judge allowed this to come in, you know what I mean? And I already said this before the trial and it started, that when they allowed this video in, man, the jury was going to see this, and 9 out of 10, he's already guilty because you beating up a woman, defenseless woman, you bigger than a woman, you know what I'm saying? So it looks real bad, you know? So this, like I said, he's not being charged with basically domestic violence or whatever, but it looks real bad, man, when you see this video on live. Like, it's crazy.
An argument about jealousy, about she thought I was,
but
found another phone number. So the government is trying to rebut that already. Right?
Well, yeah,
Saying,
and the defense already came out of the gate in their opening statements addressing that, and they are saying that Diddy is a violent man. They said that he has a huge anger issue, controlling his temper.
They said there's domestic. Yes, they said yes, there was domestic
violence.
That's
the key. That's the key. They are saying that this relationship was steeped in domestic violence, and they're alleging on both sides it was the nature of their relationship. Now, domestic violence is a crime, but it's a state crime. He's not being prosecuted
that's not
for
what
that.
He's being prosecuted
So
for. And
that's
they also
where
reminded the jury of that.
And that's why they're raising it right now. They're saying, look, we're conceding it. There was a lot of domestic violence, they say, on both sides. But if you want to target Diddy for a domestic violence abuser, guilty as charged, it's just he's not charged here. This would have been a state crime. It's not your job.
Right.
So they're coming out of the gate trying to diffuse what they know is coming next, which is the Cassie video.
Right.
Yeah. And look, I think that's a pretty sound strategy to basically concede on the issues that they can't really win. There was some violence. That video tells a pretty vivid story, but that's not what he's on trial for. However, I think the prosecutors have a pretty interesting case. It sounds like they're sort of kink shaming Diddy about his private affairs, but the further you get away from the norm, where you have escorts who are saying that they were maybe ordered to urinate on Cassie, it starts to look like it can't be consensual. And that's what they want to convince the jury, is that no one wants to be urinated on. So saying these were consensual terms of a relationship gets harder to believe to a juror once you've established that he's doing things so far outside of the norm.
Yeah. And so, the defense said essentially, look, this is his lifestyle. This is his life. And that they are essentially trying to go inside Diddy's bedroom to prosecute him when they couldn't get him elsewhere. It's stunning to me that.
So I guess the defense, Diddy's defense, is trying to say that yes, he's a big freak, you know what I mean? But that's his private life. That's what he likes to do, and that's what he did. But the prosecutor's really trying to get him on more than that. You know what I'm saying? So Diddy's case is like, he's not being charged with domestic violence and kind of like force. I don't want to say force, but just basically having freak outs with Cassie and other women. You know what I mean? But they really, I mean, today, Diddy I guess he kind of won because it's basically domestic violence. That's all I see. And I read up on that. He just having a lot of crazy sex and stuff like that. So we'll see more in the next 8 weeks. But today it seems, I mean, we already expected this right here. And like I say, that videotape of him beating Cassie up, that's very damaging. You know what I mean? And it's going to be crazy.
This parallels exactly what one of the lead lawyers, Mark Agnifilo, told us in our documentary, The Downfall of Diddy. I believe it was the second installment. This is what Agnifilo said, and they presented essentially this to the jury.
Let's switch our focus to the government. In my opinion, I'm just going to say it the way it is. No friend historically of the successful black man. Okay, none. And they start making this case, in my opinion, as a takedown of a successful black man. Here's a man who has made some of the most important businesses owned by a black man. Run, owned, created, founded. The vision was that of a black man. What have we done? We have reduced him, not everyone, but a lot.
I mean, I don't want them to use that black narrative. You know what I mean? Yes, he's a black successful guy, you know what I'm saying, entrepreneur. That's great. That's a great story. You know, but we seen the videos. We heard so many stories of Diddy beating up people, getting people beat up, getting people shot and stuff like that, and allegedly had something to do with Tupac getting killed, allegedly, and other stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like the Sean situation, another rapper that signed at Bad Boy Records. Allegedly, he shot somebody in the club and he ended up doing the time. Then kind of find out, Sean saying he didn't have anything to do with it, and other people saying it wasn't Sean, it was Diddy. So we don't hear so many stories of Diddy bad situations. So he's not this perfect black entrepreneur. You know what I'm saying? Yes, he's successful, but then again, it's like we don't hear so many stories, man.
Large amount of our society to being a monster. That should make us shake in our boots.
So
and that's
he went
essentially what Tony Garagos said during opening, that this is that she said the government has no business in his bedroom. They have no business judging him or trying to charge him with crimes based on how he lives his life consensually in his bedroom.
So there are three main charges here. There's racketeering. The difficulty prosecutors have in this case is racketeering is usually an organization. This one, they're focusing on an individual. The only person charged with racketeering is Diddy.
Right.
And they're saying essentially he ran a crime organization centered around all of this. The second thing they're arguing is this interstate transportation, which is what we call the Mann Act, which requires force or coercion or duress. And that's going to be a huge.
So that's one situation I think like the prosecutors might have a hard time, even though I don't know what type of evidence they got, you know what I'm saying? But I'm just going off some of the stuff that I already seen in day one. Racketeering, like you said, you know what I'm saying, it's multiple people. It just Diddy by itself, you know what I mean, having sex with many women and also having sex with guys. So, you know, I don't know. It's going to be hard. He's a freak, you know?
Huge point that the defense is going to raise, namely that did these alleged victims who were ex-girlfriends, most of them, did they do this consensually or were they pressured to do it?
Well, the prosecutors did talk about that, not so much with Cassie, but with another ex-girlfriend who they're referring to as Jane Doe. And they said that she is going to testify that she was, you know, having sex with these escorts, but she always wanted them to wear condoms, and Diddy forbade that. So they are not going to wear condoms. And she says that she admits taking drugs, and she's going to testify to that, but that she is going to say that she only took them to get through it, because this was not something she really wanted to do, and that Diddy was, there's the coercion that the government needs to show the jury. So.
But the third one is this interstate transportation of a sex worker, which doesn't require fraud, duress, or coercion. That's the one, in a way,
they kind of got him on. Because he's admitting that.
Well,
he's admitting.
But you know what the issue is? The issue is, are these sex workers?
Right.
And that's going to be a big part of this, because if they are sex workers and the jury believes it, and they did cross state lines, he's going to have a tough time with that third charge. But the argument they're going to make is these people, they were men, were not sex workers. That's going to, again, this is going to get
then the definition of what makes, and
what makes somebody a sex worker.
And is that, are one of those sex workers, one of the escorts, going to be testifying for the government saying, yes, I was a sex worker? If they have that.
Our information is that we know of at least one person who has been subpoenaed, who they say is a sex worker. This guy says he wasn't a sex worker,
Right.
although concedes that he was in that room having freak-offs with Cassie,
Right.
as Diddy watched.
So that's what we get. I got another video, man, that a guy that was in court. I think his name is Amon Wiggins, man. He's a YouTuber. I like some of his content. He was in court today, and he explained mostly everything that he saw, heard from the prosecutor and the defense, man. And also, Diddy kids was also in the courtroom. Also, their facial expressions and stuff like that. He really explained it pretty well. Like I say, man, this whole situation is wild. It's sad on both ends. You know what I mean? But listen, it's gonna be crazy, man. Let me see if I can play that video right quick. Yeah, so he was in court, and listen, he's explained it pretty well. And there's some very details in there that make you say, "Damn, that really what was going on."
Basically, I was up today at.
Let me see if I can get to the
I
good
can
part.
actually,
Thank you.
mind you, I was number 50 in young. They're like middle-aged, like they got some middle-aged white guys, and they got like some like 22, 24-year-old white guys. So I think they did pretty good with the jury. Now,
Okay, so he's explaining the jury, the jurors.
the defense was upset when they were picking the jury, though, because the government, the prosecution, when they had to strike out the juries, because when they were finalizing it, out of 9 juries that they were striking out, 7 of them were black, and the prosecution was seemingly striking out a lot of the black jurors, potential jurors. And so
No, I wonder why that is. I don't want to say no race there or whatever, but I'm just saying I wonder why that was. You know what I mean? What made them strike those jurors, potential jurors out?
I think that this was a move for the press, because Mark, which is on the defense, Diddy's lawyer, he made a bold statement. He said, "Hey, I just want to make it known that the defense is striking out predominantly our black jury candidates. Everybody went to writing." And so the white lady came up for on the prosecution side and said, "Well, I want to make it clear why, for each one of them, why I'm striking them out." In a nutshell, each one of them juries, one of them either was a gangbanger, one of them had been to jail for 4 years. Another one, one lady, they said that she knew 17 of the people that was mentioned that was affiliated with Diddy, and she was a fan of Making the Band.
Damn.
This lady went and said she was a fan of Making the Band. She even knew Lorianne Gibson. Nobody in the jury pool knew Lorianne, so she had went back to Making the Band. Lorianne Gibson, she was just up there like, "Yeah, you know, I know Don Diddy, Making the."
Let me get to where he was inside the courtroom, where it all started at, man. Let me see.
Basically creating an choking. He pulled his out and showed it to her.
Oh, okay.
We're doing opening arguments. And I'm going to tell you this. I don't have a dog in the fight. And I'm going to be 100 with y'all. I'm dead set in the middle right now. So let me tell you what they're getting Diddy on. Racketeering, which is basically creating an enterprise to do your dirty work for you. So the racketeering comes in like, all right, I have like police, I have my officers, my security, my people in line to make sure, you know, to cover stuff up, to make sure stuff is dead. There was one time where Cassie was choking on urine by the escort. Allegedly, he had made the escort piss down Cassie's throat.
Yo, that's crazy work right there. Like I say, I know before the trial even started, I know it was a freak off or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But I didn't know it was this crazy, like some porno type stuff. You know what I'm saying? Peeing on somebody, you know, like that's just crazy. Cause you look at Cassie, man, she's pregnant right now. I think a third kid with her husband. And you look at her like she's a very beautiful woman. You don't think like, nah, I don't think she into that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? But come to find out, yeah, she's into it.
And she was choking on piss. She was choking on piss. I was like, oh my, like they came in hard like that, heavy like that. Mind you, I'm gagging because the kids is sitting there, the 2 twin daughters, the middle daughter, and all the sons. They said Diddy would get on the drugs. It get high. They got a Jane Doe coming in speaking out and talking about how he choke slammed her. Everything was leading to a freak off. If they wanted to leave the freak off, he would beat them. If they didn't want to freak off no more, he would beat them. They said that he chased one lady, the Jane Doe that's coming, one of the witnesses that's coming in. She ran into her room to hide. He kicked the door down. Then she ran into the bathroom. He kicked the door down. She ran into the closet. He kicked the door down. At some point, she hit him back. And he choke slammed her and beat her and then told her, "You're not going to make me have a bad day." And
so with all this, man, Diddy was very abusive, man. Like he was really beating Cassie up. There's a video online that we can see her. I think she had some sunglasses on. Her lip was kind of blue, black and blue. And I think it was from Diddy. Wow. This is crazy. I seen the video that he hit in the elevator before she got in the elevator at the hotel and really hitting all these details of how it really went down. It's like, it's really sad, man. It's crazy. And I'm surprised that she even stayed that long. She stayed with Diddy like over 10 years.
You still got to do this freak off. They said we're going to see video of the freak offs with the male escorts, with the women high out of their mind. They're going to play the videos in court. Mind you, the kids is sitting in the courtroom. Sitting in the courtroom. They talking about he stepped on Cassie's face, kicked her. Then they said he had an assistant that somehow he pulled his out and showed it to her. She wasn't interested, but I think he started like feeling on her. And then she fell asleep or something at his house. And then he pulled his out and sodomized her. She's coming forward. So they're trying to get him on an essay, kidnapping. Oh, and prostitution. Yep. It's a lot. So you got girls claiming that he's kidnapping them. So they set this whole stage up about how he gets so high off drugs and everything has to lead to a freak off. And if they don't want to do the freak off, they're beaten. And when they do the freak off, they have to be freaked out. So I'm like over there like, whew, this is a lot. Now, the whole time this is happening, I'm looking at the kids. You could tell the daughters was kind of like trying to hang in there. Quincy wouldn't even look at the prosecution. It was like he was just looking forward. He wouldn't even look. He wouldn't even do one of these to see what the lady was talking about because he's facing straight. He was acting like he didn't even want to hear that. Diddy would periodically check on, turn back to the kids and make sure they good. I know he was embarrassed, but he'd look at them and make sure that they were good. You know what I'm saying? And when they kind of give him a nod, they kind of do it like we still got you, Dad. And I'm in there getting teary-eyed because I'm like, this is really, really something else. You know what I'm saying? But it got so bad. I hope I don't cry in here because I really feel bad for those girls. I'm probably tired because I'm about to cry because I feel bad for them kids. Because
So most of Diddy kids, man, the twin girls, the three sons, they was all in the courtroom and they was listening to everything that the prosecutor was saying and the defense was saying, and also the people that was on the stand, like explaining everything that was going on during the freak offs, how they had sex, what Diddy did, what Cassie did. The kids was in there, so you can tell that, yeah, it's interesting.
it got bad. I'm gonna get to it. So that happened. They start to open their arguments. They start to open it, and it's a mess. It is a mess. So then they come and the defense comes and she goes, and I'm thinking, what the? She goes, Diddy, everybody knows Diddy has a temper. Everybody knows Diddy's a drug user. Everybody knows he likes to freak offs. But that's his personal business. You see, he's not paying. These are all consensual. Diddy is a good man. He's a lover. This is not racketeering. This is not prostitution. This is not ape. This is none of that. This is not trafficking. This is just domestic violence. And I'm thinking, what? I'm thinking she's an idiot. Because I'm like, they're about to cook Diddy.
Yeah, that's what I thought also. Before this trial really started, before I hear all this stuff that was going on today, I was like, I thought Diddy was basically done. Like, I really thought he was done. After I've very seen the videotape of him beating Cassie, they offered him a plea deal, I think, last week, and he turned it down. And I'm wondering, like, I'm saying to myself, like, no, I think you should have took that plea deal. Like, it probably been like maybe 15 years. But then again, I'm like, Diddy has a lot of people on his team as in lawyers. He has Brian Steele. Brian Steele was on the Young Thug case, who's a rapper out of Atlanta, and he's pretty good, you know. So maybe they can really, maybe they got some stuff that will help Diddy. I'm not sure, but before all this right here, before today's court date, I thought Diddy was basically done because after they're gonna play that video, the jury's gonna see that most of those women on there seeing another woman and looking at Cassie as today she's pregnant. How can you do that to a woman? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he's done. You know, but hearing most of the stuff that was going on today, it was basically freak offs and domestic violence. You know what I'm saying? But that's some of that stuff that he's not being charged with, you know, so it's kind of crazy, but
no, this is not a domestic violence suit. So as much as the hitting and the kicking is the gag, that's not what we're looking for. We have to prove reasonable doubt of racketeering, trafficking, prostitution, ape, arson, and kidnapping. So while he kicked and punched Cassie, that's not why he's on trial. He's on trial for trafficking and holding people against their will, allegedly. and coercion. And so when I sat back, I'm like, oh, they had got in front of that real quick. That was interesting because I was feeling like, okay, Diddy's out of here. But at the same time, I'm over here still thinking, in front of your kids and your family, everybody now has to know that you're a drug user, a pill popper, and a freaked out man. And the sons are sitting there. The daughters are still in there. And so this is when it got crazy for me. They called the first witness. Now, the first witness was the security guard at the Intercontinental Hotel in Century City, where Cassie Diddy beat up Cassie. Now what they're saying is that fight happened because Diddy had set up a freak off, or made Cassie set up the freak off. Cassie didn't want to do the freak off anymore. She left. And so he beat her A. The security guard is saying there was a man in there. There was another man in there sitting at the edge of the bed in that video. You can't see him in the video, but he was in the hotel room at that time where you seen Diddy come in the hallway and kick and beat on Cassie when he had the towel on. He said that Cassie had a purple eye. He said what ended up happening is he had got a call and they said that there was a woman in distress and he went to see what was going on with her, but she didn't really say much. She just said she just wanted to go home. He didn't see nothing. It was nothing on the surveillance. But Diddy came out and he was telling Diddy, listen, you got to go back. You got to go into your room, into your hotel. But they was broken vases. They were destroying property with the fight in the hallway. So he did tell him, hey, checkout is about to happen, but you're going to be responsible to pay for your damages that you caused to the apartment. The man says when he went to the door, Diddy had a stack of money like this, almost as bribing him, like, don't say nothing. You don't see nothing. You don't know what happened. Take the money. The man didn't take the money.
So I wonder, that's what, like, one of the cases where they say he bribed somebody. I'm trying to think, is that it right there? But he didn't take it, so I don't know.
The man said he didn't even know that the fight had happened until like the next day when he was going over the cameras. Then he found the fight. The man was so messy, he recorded the fight video on his phone to send it to his girlfriend because he felt like nobody was going to believe him. And somehow now the feds have that video. It's two different, it's like 5 videos of this. The man,
I'm surprised they ain't sold that video to TMZ or somebody like that. You know what I'm saying? You see a big celebrity like Diddy Combs, man, and the singer Cassie, and they was actually fighting, and you got video of that? Listen, in today's society, man, that's what a lot of people do. They do stuff like that and sell information to the blogs and stuff, man, just for money. And this video of them fighting, man, that video is very old. So I'm surprised that the police even had got that video. Like, it's crazy.
and recorded too to send to his friends from his phone. That was even in court. And so they were pretty much asking him, what did Cassie look like? What happened? What do you think happened? The man was saying, well, he was trying to help Cassie. He was trying to get her away from him. He didn't call the police because he didn't know if they fought or not. It was just she had a black eye, but he didn't know what happened. And Cassie said, I don't want to press charges. Nothing happened. I just want to get my stuff and I want to leave. So the man ended up having to write an incident report, right? But in the incident report, he didn't write that Cassie had a black eye. He didn't write that there was another guy in the room. He didn't write that he tried to call the police. And he didn't write that Cassie was being held against her will. He actually ended up writing in the incident report that Diddy told Cassie that she should just leave. Right? So they pretty much was setting up the scene to say that Diddy was in there whooping her in that hotel room, and the guy ended up having to come in. The guy also said that Diddy was so turned up because one of the guys, he felt like one of the other co-workers, Diddy thought had a camera in his face, and Diddy was trying to turn up on him, and the guy said he's like strong-arm Diddy to back up. Right? So then they played the video, all different variations. Stopped the video, played all the way through, started and stopped it.
Listen, if you just coming in the live, man, make sure you like. This is a guy right here, man. Martin Wiggins. He's a YouTuber, and he was in court today. I think he's gonna be down there until the case is over. He do good content, so like I said, he was in trial today, and he basically explaining how today went.
Watch Cassie get kicked, punched, smacked, grabbed. Mind you, the kids is in there. The daughters is in there. At first, they was trying not to watch it. They was acting like they didn't. I seen them. They was all looking forward, like, all right, we're not gonna watch this. But then I seen them looking over, and I'm just over here feeling for them because I'm like, they really have to watch their daddy punch and kick and step on this woman. The sons is watching too. The whole family in there, the kids is watching that. And then them prosecutors, they didn't give a shit. They slowed it down. They stopped it. They brought it back. They slowed it down again. Then they went step by step, every step. What's happening here? Look at this. What's happening? I mean, they wanted the jury to feel every blow, every kick, every punch, every sock. I'm over here like, this is a lot. This was a lot. This was a lot. It was a lot. It was a lot. It was a lot. It was a lot. But then we got to the cross-examination. Because at that point, I was like, oh my God, Diddy is done. But oh no. In that ninth inning, let me tell you this. If you ain't heard nothing else from me, that Brian motherfucking Steele. That,
like I said, that's Brian Steele, man. He was on the case a few months ago for the rapper Young Thug, who got him off trial. They got him a plea deal, whatever. He's a hell of a lawyer. He's a hell of a lawyer. And so Diddy got him on the case, and we're gonna see how good he is, man.
Brian motherfucking Steele ain't no hoe. Baby, that Brian Steele in that cross-examination. Brian Steele ain't nothing to play with. Brian Steele is nothing to play with. Diddy has a dream team of lawyers. And I'm going to tell you this right now in front of 7,000 people. This is not a knockout drag out. This is not a KO for Diddy. Diddy has a fighting chance. But I also will tell you this. Them white women are in there. They battling. They in there battling. This is going to be a close call. That Brian Steele got on that stage and cross-examined that security guard. He said, so you're the security guard, right? He said, I want to pull up your incident report. And so like when you do an incident, right? Just follow me. Everything, you know, you want to be, because you're the manager. So you want to have everything thorough. You want to have everything thorough, and you want to know what's going on because you have to report it back to your team so your team knows what's going on, and we know something happened that day. And the guy was like, yeah, absolutely, 100%. He said, okay. He said, so you said that Cassie had a blue eye, a black eye, or a purple eye. That wasn't in your report. Why was that not in your report? The guy was like, I don't remember the details. I didn't remember. He was like, you didn't remember it then, but you remember it almost 9 years later? Because this incident happened in 2016. So you remember it 10 years later, but you don't remember it then? I said, okay.
Yeah, that's crazy right there. Like your memory from back then, you know what I'm saying, is fresh now, but you didn't remember then. Like he didn't write none of that stuff down, but like almost 10 years later, oh yeah, I remember. You know what I'm saying? Like really?
He said, you told Diddy that you were gonna call the police, and you know there was a woman in distress, and you were thinking about calling the police. That isn't in your report. So was it that serious? He was like, well, sir, you're just trying to make it seem like the guy was getting flushed, he was getting irritated. He was like, I didn't feel like I had to say all that. He said, you said when you walked in the house, there was another guy in the house. He said, yeah, there was. He said, I'm reading your report. That wasn't in your report. So everything you're saying today, he hit her, he did this, he did that, that wasn't in your report. Then he said, so you put your hand on Diddy, you strong arm Diddy, right? The guy was like, yeah, I kind of put my elbow on him and strong arm him and pushed him back. Brian Steele read the incident report, and the incident report said he grabbed Diddy's hand. He said, well, you having to strong arm him and all of that and use force against him, that's not in your report. He said you grabbed him by the hand.
You grabbed him by the hand.
Like, why you did like this? And then I grabbed him by the hand. Then I had to hold him like this. He was like, you just want to make it. He was like, well, I know. He said, no, I'm just saying, you had to make the incident report, but none of the stuff you're talking about today is in the incident report. So you saying that it wasn't that serious or you forgot, but why do you all of a sudden remember everything now, but none of this was in the incident report, but you was just so concerned?
Yeah, I don't know. That's kind of fishy. Now, I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say the security guard is lying. You know what I'm saying? But it is kind of odd that you didn't put none of that in the incident report. Now, I don't know. It was like, okay, this is Diddy. He's a celebrity. This is Cassie. She's a celebrity. She's a singer, whatever. I'm not gonna put 100% everything there. You know what I mean? I might try to help them out. That may be why he did that. I'm not sure. But in today, it seems a little odd that you didn't put that in there. So now it's like it's making it seem like the security guard he's kind of lying right now. You know what I mean? But I don't know.
You got all this smoke now at the day of trial on the testimony stand, but none of this is in your incident report. Then he said, you said that Cassie told you that she just wanted to go home, but Diddy won't let her go home. He said, read line number 8. And line number 8 read something like, Diddy told Cassie to just leave and go home. He said, now that wasn't in your incident report. Actually, what's in your report is that Diddy told Cassie to go home. So where did he kidnap her at? Your Honor, I have no further questions.
Brian Steele, something serious, man. Brian Steele is something serious. Like I said, they charged Diddy with the kidnapping, and in that instance right there, Diddy didn't kidnap her. You know what I'm saying? He told her she can leave. He didn't. I don't think he bribed him either. I think when he about to offer the money, I think that's about to come up also, but he didn't took the money.
And I was over here like, oh my God. Oh, no. Then he said, he tried it with this one. He said, you and your manager told Diddy, he said Diddy had on, what did Diddy have on? Said, Diddy had on a towel. And you said checkout was coming, right? He said, yeah. He said, and you told Diddy that he had to pay for everything that he damaged, right? Because it was a lot of damages in the hotel. He was like, yeah, I did tell him that. He did have to pay. He said, and then when Diddy opened the door to you and handed you some money, because he had no clothes on, he had no wallet, he had nothing, you thought he was bribing you? The guy was like, we don't take cash. He was like, I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying. Maybe he was going to pay you in cash. Like, Brian Steele was pulling stuff, nothing out of something. He was pulling. You thought he was bribing you? You guys just told him he had to pay for everything. So when you came to the door, he had the money for you. Don't seem like bribery to me. Where did you get bribery? Because, again, that wasn't in your incident report, that he offered you some money. And you felt like he was bribing you. That wasn't in your incident report. So I'm over here like, whoo. And then I see Justin and King, they're over there like, yes. They laughing out. Because at first, when the prosecution was going, they was looking down a little bit, looking a little defeated, but they was laughing like, yeah, get that nigga, get him. And Diddy over there like, we got that Brian Steele on him. And the kids, you could see them perking up like, yeah, get that nigga. Like they over there laughing to each other. They over there doing that thing like, yeah. And you know, me, as soon as I'm like, ooh, this is getting good. So then Brian Steele goes and sits down. But them white women ain't playing fair. Let me tell you what them white women did. She was a cold one for this. She said, oh, no. Whatever the lady's name is, we just gonna say Sarah. Sarah? White lady come up, because she wasn't gonna leave it on that, because Brian Steele cooked their witness. Cooked that witness, broke him down. That witness, he was over it. He was getting flustered, he was getting mad. Cooked that witness. So the white lady gets up. We're not done. Sarah, can you put that video back up in the hallway? Now, I see that the defense says that Cassie was free to go. Sarah, can you go to the 1 minute mark and just let it play through? Ask me what played through. This was cut. Ask me what played through. So at that.
And probably when she was at the elevator and Diddy pulled her back, that's probably what you're about to say. When he pulled her back, he hit her. Then that's when he kicked her.
At Mark, what played through was Cassie walking to the elevator, Diddy coming outside from the back, if you saw the video, dragging her, knocking her down, stepping on her, and dragging her back to the room. Then the white lady said, does that look like he was telling her to go home?
She got him on that.
You know what? Let's play that one more time from the beginning. And she played it again. And she said, you know what? Let's just play the whole thing over. So she played the whole thing over. And she said, he probably told her to go after the fact because it was getting too hot, but that doesn't look like someone that is letting someone go. You see how he's dragging her? Does that look like somebody that's being told to go home? Just leave? No further questions, Your Honor. And I was like, oh, that was nothing. Oh my God. And I need y'all to help me right now. I need y'all to send y'all super chats and y'all donations, because this may not get live viewers. Why not? So This is where it got sticky for me. Baby, what is that man's name? Hold on, I gotta go get the book on this. I didn't know what to expect from Daniel Phillip. I didn't know what Daniel Phillip gave. But Daniel Phillip came there and just made everybody uncomfortable. So let me tell you what Daniel Phillip looked like. Daniel Phillip is about 5'7", 5'8", stocky football player build. You know what I'm saying? Bald head, medium brown skin. So think like a little short, stocky guy, thick, bald head, brown skin. But you can tell he's muscular or whatever. So what we learn about Brian Phillip is between 2011, 2012, 2013, he was working in New York at a male review show. Okay. And he wasn't actually the escort at the time. He was just working for the company. However, I forget how. Oh, he met Cassie through a black dancer, okay, at the Gramercy Park Hotel. So there was a dancer that kind of hooked him up with Cassie or whatever. He got a call from Cassie because they were supposed to, she was having a bachelorette party, and that was the whole thing. She was supposed to be having a bachelorette party, and so he was supposed to have the cop outfit on and, you know, do the whole thing for the women and just be an exotic dancer.
So I'm thinking this may be one of the male escorts right here that he about to explain. I'm thinking. I haven't seen this video. I've seen clips of it. I think this is one of them.
Well, comes to find out, when he gets to the house, she says, well, it's just me and my husband. It's my birthday, and he wants me to have a good time if you're down. Apparently, she answered the door with nothing but high heels on and lingerie. With a stack of money, gave him the money. Cassie would do the booking. So his job at this point would be to have sex with Cassie. Okay? So he goes in there, he says, I'm with it, whatever. So at this point, he said, him and Cassie just start fucking. Oh, then she said, my husband's not gay, so it's fine. Okay. And then I guess she was saying the boss, her boss told him that he would need $200 on arrival. Right. So they were in a suite in the main living room. They had velvet couches, candles lit around the table, baby oil, and Astroglide.
So that's that baby oil scene about to happen, man. When I first seen the picture of all those baby oil, I thought it was somebody pranking. I thought it was like some AI type stuff with all that baby oil in that bathroom when that picture, when the police raid one of Diddy houses, man. But they was really using baby oil. Yeah. Again, if you hear snoring, that's my dog. He's kind of like sleeping next to me. So let me know in the comments if you hear him. I can tell him to move or something like that. And also, man, if you just joining, this is the guy right here. Amal Wiggins. He was in the courtroom. So this is basically explaining what he's seen and heard today. And also, man, make sure y'all like the stream.
They said Diddy was sitting in a corner. I'm gonna show you with a white robe on. Let me show you.
So this is one of the scenes that one of male escorts was having sex with Cassie, and Diddy was in there. Yeah, he about to explain it.
They said Diddy was in a corner with a hat, I think sunglasses, like this.
And was Diddy dressing up as a gangster or something? Like, I think they had like some role play going on, man. That's what I think else was going on.
So when the man walked in, Diddy was sitting like this, right? Cassie's in the lingerie. Diddy's sitting like this in a white robe with this on. The baby oil's on the table. And the Astroglide lube is on the table. The man starts and Cassie, and Diddy's over there jacking. Yes, with the mask on and the hat on.
So this is like some role play type porno fucking, I don't even know. Like, this is crazy. So I'm guessing Diddy like seeing men have sex with his girlfriend. Kind of weird, but it happens. It happens, man.
So he didn't know it was Diddy yet. He didn't know what it was given because he didn't know who that was. All the transactions would go through Diddy. Then he said when he hit Cassie, he came so quick, it happened so fast, right?
Man, that thing must have been good, ain't it?
So then he left. But then Cassie texted him and said, can you come back? Like maybe like 2 minutes later. She said, send me a picture of you have the biggest I've ever seen. And so he sent that and came back and Cassie again. Mind you, the kids are still in there. And they said, well, how much would you make whenever you would do it? He's like, I make $600, between $700 and $6,000. They just put money in my account. Then he said it got to the point where he would go over there multiple times. Sometimes he'd be at Cassie's house. Sometimes he'd go to Diddy's house, drop the addresses, said what they had over there. He said he would Cassie so bad, he would be in her all the time. And Diddy would direct the way to her. Then he would say, blowing her, if you know what I mean. Like drop off your load in her. You know what I'm saying? Like just shoot it, like shooting her. Because he would want them to do it raw. Now, I need you to get close. It's
role play going on, baby all going on, having sex unprotected going on, male escorts, Diddy watching the guy have sex with Cassie. Yo, this is diabolical. Yeah. And also the kids, Diddy kids in the courtroom, listen to this. Crazy work.
no tea. I didn't tell y'all this the other day because I didn't know if I could tell y'all this because I don't want nothing. I'm not confirming. I'm not denying. I'm not saying. I'm just going to tell y'all the day when they were going over what you can ask questions wise to the witnesses on Friday. One of the big things was they didn't really want to get into Cassie's sexual health records and health, like, or something like that. You couldn't ask about things like that. So they didn't want the defense to ask that during the trial. That was interesting to me Friday when I heard it. So today, when we're talking, they're saying that Diddy always wanted him to shoot in Cassie. And sometimes he'd do it. But then it got to a point where one time he even faked it. And then Diddy and Cassie went back into the room and he would just be sitting there for hours and he wouldn't know, like, am I supposed to leave now or am I supposed to stay? He said sometimes it could last for 10 hours. Like they'll use him and then they go in the room and chill for a minute and then they'll come back, or then like he'll be hitting Cassie and then like Diddy be like, all right, you doing too much. I'm finna go get me some. And then he'll go run a train on Cassie.
Oh my goodness. Like, I'm not trying to laugh, man. It's funny. But So this is basically like an all-day sex fest freak off shit going on. You know what I mean? Like this is some crazy stuff. Wow. I didn't know it was this bad. Jesus. And mind you, she was with Diddy for like 10 years. So this was going on. You know what I mean? Like,
But one time he said he faked like he, because he just couldn't do it. He didn't want to do it. And Diddy came out and said, "Are you sure you did in her?" Like, I don't like it was almost like Diddy wanted it and like it didn't. Where was it? This is what the man is saying. Okay. And so I'm like, wow. Then the man said, this is what got me. The man said that it got to a point where he didn't want to keep sleeping with Cassie with no condom because he wasn't comfortable. He said that he wanted to see her health records first. Then he said he showed his, but
I think he meant the guy didn't want to sleep with Cassie without using a condom. I think he wanted to use a condom. I think that's what he meant.
she never showed hers. Girl, they said that he said he didn't want to. He was like, I was getting uncomfortable having to keep sleeping with her raw, and I don't know where her health status is. And I'm just like, the thing I wrote, I just wrote big old ST. I'm like, it's something going on with that. I don't know. I can't confirm. I don't know. But he's saying she never showed her health records, and he was getting uncomfortable sleeping with her. Then they said, him and Diddy, they would run trains on her. One time they had another man came in, but then the man was around while he was banging Cassie, looking Diddy in the eyes. And Diddy said, "Mother, don't you look me in the eyes, because you won't." Like Diddy, Diddy not gay. He just like to watch other men, Cassie.
Okay. Because I listen, listen, man. I thought Diddy was like on some bi type shit. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like before this even came out, I really thought Diddy was like not gay, but I really thought he was bi. Because all the stuff that was coming out in reports and stuff like that, man, all the blogs and stuff like that, man, saying they had other men freak on stuff like that. So he is a big old freak, but he's not gay. And also the guy that was sleeping with Cassie without a condom, like, man, you was doing it for so long, you should have been thought about wanting to use a condom. You know what I'm saying? Like, why are you waiting till now after you done had sex with Cassie like over 50 times? You know what I mean? It's crazy.
But the man was like, "Bro, I'm not looking at you. I'm not looking at you." But I guess the man was hitting Cassie, but looking at Diddy. And that was making Diddy uncomfortable. But eventually, Daniel Phillips says Diddy would come out of the, out of the freak off garb, because Diddy was like this with the freak off stuff. Then eventually he stopped wearing that stuff and whatever. So I'm like, well, what else happened? And see, the prosecution was really trying to get to it. And this is where I'm like, it sounded like, if I'm being honest with y'all, this sounded like Cassie was in on it. I'm not gonna lie. The way that this witness was going, it was like Cassie wanted this too. She liked this. She was doing it. It was consensual. She was in on it. He said that Cassie requested that he piss on her.
Crazy work.
And when he did it, he just went ahead and literally pissed. And Diddy and Cassie said, "Well, that's not how you do it. You almost have to sprinkle it out little by little. You don't just fuck around. I mean, you don't just go piss on me. You kind of like, you tease me with the water. Go ahead and drizzle me in piss. Don't douse me in piss. You know what I'm saying? You squirt me with piss instead. And so Cassie and Diddy would coach him on how to piss on her.
Boy, what type of shit they had going on, man? Yo, oh my goodness. I know it was a freak out, but that pissing shit, it was already weird when Diddy used to watch the guy in the facial role play or whatever, gang mask or whatever you want to call it, bandana, already watching the guy mess with Cassie. That was already weird. But hearing that the guy was pissing on Cassie and Cassie was in on it, oh, this is diabolical.
Which lets me know that Young Miami wasn't lying because Diddy didn't. I know that means Diddy pissed on her. But apparently this was Cassie's request. But the first time when I told you that Cassie was choking, that would, I guess, was another escort where Cassie, and maybe she asked for it, when they earlier on, and we're gonna get more into that, where they said that the escort was sitting Cassie's throat and she was choking on piss.
Damn.
Choking on piss is crazy. Wow. Them girls was freaked out. So then, as it was starting to get graphic like that, the two daughters got up and left. They got up and left. As they should have, because I was uncomfortable watching them watch that and hear that. I get teary-eyed. I think I'm tired, but I'm telling you, I was so uncomfortable watching them watch that and hear that. They don't need to know about piss. Are you crazy? Now, the sun sat in there the entire time, but they was in there kind of like, wow, piss. You know what I mean? And I really think that those kids are something special because they really knew, like they really kept their energy aligned in the right place. They didn't really waver too much, but as it was getting more graphic, they would look down. But then it turned into, so then he said, well, he kind of stopped wanting to have with them. And they said, well, why? He said, because his thing couldn't go up. He said, well, why? They said, well, why? And they said, because the first time he hit her. So apparently, Diddy had took Cassie into the room, punched her, slapped her, and body slammed her. And he heard the that's all he heard while he was in the living room. And that was Cassie getting body slammed, choke slammed, and punched out. Apparently, Cassie then came out and ran into the living room where he was at, jumped in his arms. They started kissing or doing something because it was just finally them two by itself. And then one thing led to another. Then his thing got up and he started banging Cassie out again.
Damn.
But what he didn't know is
he banged Cassie after she done got choke slam and all type shit. Damn, it's crazy.
Diddy allegedly was around the corner. I'm gonna show you. He said Diddy was around the corner peeking, doing this.
Yo, this is crazy.
He said Diddy was around the corner looking and peeking and doing this.
So so Diddy beat Cassie up, slam her, stuff like that. And next thing you know, she ran to the male escort, started crying. Before that, his penis couldn't get up. So she came to him in distress, crying and stuff. And next thing you know, his penis got up and they started having sex. And next thing you know, Diddy was around the corner watching, jagging his meat. To me, that sounds crazy. Than it sounds like, damn, did y'all play me? Like, did y'all plan that? Did you like you hit her and beat her up, but did y'all plan that role play type shit for me to have sex with her? This is what y'all wanted to see? That's why I say this sounds crazy, man.
And once he saw Diddy, he was over it. Okay? He said because he said that he couldn't get with Diddy, but then he said Diddy liked that they was getting along like that. That's what he said.
See?
This is crazy. This is crazy.
So that's some stuff that they do. So it wasn't really him beating up. I mean, well, he's beating her up, but like it's like some role play type physical choking, beating her up. Then you go sleep with the male escort while I watch and jack my meat. While after I done beat you up, you having sex with this guy. Like, I don't know. I'm gonna get my thoughts at the end.
That man said Diddy was around that corner peeking like that. And so I was like, wow. Diddy said he had stopped talking to Cassie. Look, I got right here. The girls leave. It's too much. He said every time he met Cassie, every time he see Cassie, he had to bang Cassie in front of Diddy. One place in Gramercy Park Hotel, German ex's house, Intercontinental, Diddy's house, Cassie's Western Avenue house, Diddy's 210 Western 6th Street house in New York. Oh, and then Diddy would go by the name, like Diddy had an alias name. He didn't go by Diddy. The name would be when they do the freak off at the suit, if he goes to the hotels, he doesn't say like, oh, send me up to Diddy's room. Cassie would say it's under Black. So Diddy's freaky name or alias name is Black. Okay? They said it can go from 1 hour to 6 hours to 10 hours. They said they did airport role play. Diddy would tell him, don't come yet. Dump inside of Cassie. Touch each other and blow in Cassie. Then he said they would just rub baby oil on each other. Everybody would be doused in baby oil. And Diddy would say, more oil. As they're doing, y'all don't have enough oil on you. More oil. So they have to put more oil and more oil. Yeah. Then he said, once he stopped talking to Cassie, he was trying to check on her from a distance, but he would send her vulgar text messages to see if she would respond because she was with it like that. And if they said, well, what kind of vulgar text messages? And he said, well, do you want me to tell you? And they said, yes. So he would send Cassie messages like, I want to you right now. And sometimes she wouldn't respond. And the girls had came back in and the girls had left again. And this is where they said, yeah, Cassie asked him to piss on her and let a little out on her at a time. And Diddy would be in the corner jacking while the escort pissed on Cassie. Yes. There was a lot going on. And he said that he would almost make a requirement to nut in Cassie. And Diddy would record the phone call, and Diddy would record all the sessions. And he said, listen, they asked, like, why didn't you call the police? Why didn't you say anything? Why were you uncomfortable? The guy said he was scared for his life. He never really wanted to say anything because Diddy had taken a picture of his ID. Mm-hmm. And he felt like, well, he got a picture of my ID. But he said Diddy would take a picture of his ID and call it insurance. And so
that's like some movie type shit right there. You know what I'm saying? You take a picture of somebody's ID, and next thing you know, somebody do something. The guy end up calling the police or something like that. Then go to this guy's address. Because allegedly Diddy was known for getting people beat up, shot, or whatever. You know what I mean? It's a lot of stories, man. Even in the 90s and 2000s, a lot of stuff, rumors going on how Diddy would usually be. You know what I mean?
So the escort felt like he was being threatened, so he was afraid to go against Diddy at any point. He also talked about how Diddy had him on Molly. He said one time Diddy gave him so much money, then they got high off Molly, and the man went to Times Square and gave everybody in New York $100. He said he was so euphoric and so turned up, he was so high, he went out and gave all that money Diddy gave him and gave all the money out.
Damn, he got to been high.
He said two guys dipped in Cassie. It was him and then a black skinny guy. But the black skinny guy was looking at Diddy. This is the freaky too. So then, this is the other part.
Lord, Arizona must be good as hell.
He said, he said that sometimes he would know that he wasn't the only one. When he'd come over, he'd probably be the second or third free call. Sometimes it'd be dirty towels on the floor, baby oil on the ground, lube. Just be a mess. So they've been doing it and been doing it and been doing it. Then that's when he had got the erectile dysfunction. And I guess what ended up happening was Diddy and Cassie got into it because Diddy had called her and said, babe, come here. And she didn't come quick enough. Then a bottle came, phew, past her head, pow, hit the wall. Then he pulled Cassie into the bathroom. Pulled her into the bedroom and said, and smacked her. Bitch, when I tell you to get over here, you come here now. Or what do you say? No, B, when I tell you to come here, you come. So he threw the bottle at her first, pow, boom. Then he smacked her, boom, and grabbed her in the bathroom, grabbed her up and then popped her, pow. B, when I tell you to come here, you come, ho. And that's when he was body slamming her and stuff from the shoulders.
That's crazy.
And so the escort didn't really want to say anything. Look, right here, this is some tea. The escort didn't want to say anything because he remembered Diddy had the ID, and so he was fearing for his life. This is a mess. I don't know why I got, ooh. So that's where we at with it. So then we did the cross-examination. I don't know Diddy's, the black attorney's name, but he's trash. he's trying to be like a Brian Steele, and it's just not really working for me. I mean, he literally bored the crap out of all of us toward the end to where he's going to even have to get back on the stand tomorrow. They didn't even finish it off. But when I tell you, I'm going to just say this, and I'm going to leave it at that. This case is really good. And yes, it's salacious, but Diddy's not on trial for the hitting. And so that's what's making it so juicy. But if I'm being fair and I'm being honest, this ain't just, Diddy has a dream team. And I feel like, I'm not saying Diddy is innocent by any means. But what I'm also not saying is Cassie was just a complete full-on victim. A piece of me feels like Cassie was in on this a little bit.
A little bit.
You know what I'm saying? And so hopefully, you know, I get there tomorrow. We'll see Cassie. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I may not see Cassie because I might be in the overflow room. I just don't have it in me tonight. People are already lining up at their court date. When we were leaving the courtroom, people were lining up.
All right, so I'm going to get off here, but let me give my my feedback from the first day of the trial, man. Listen, like he said, Diddy's not on trial for the freak offs. He's not on trial for beating up Cassie. I mean, he's kind of on trial for the freak offs, but it's like only for sex trafficking. Like he coerced women from not leaving and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Forcing women to do stuff. That, yeah. But not just having sex with male escorts and other women and stuff like that. But was he really sex trafficking? You know what I'm saying? But in the public eye, Diddy's guilty. You know what I mean? From domestic beating up Cassie, yeah, he's guilty on that part. But this is what he's not on trial for. Also, Cassie is not. Listen, I don't think nobody, no woman, and no man, and like I say in many of my videos, no one deserves to be getting hit. No man should hit a woman, and no woman should hit a man. You know what I mean? I always live by that, and I always say that. You know, and also I said before, like, Cassie been with this guy for 10 years, 10 plus years, 10 years, 10 years doing all this stuff. And not one time that she didn't leave. She didn't call the police, you know, and I can understand when people say she was kind of young and she can be brainwashed and all type of stuff. She was brainwashed by the fame, the money Diddy had and all that stuff. You know, Cassie had her own career. She was a singer and stuff like that. I think she had like 1 or 2 good songs, if I'm not mistaken. You know, so I don't want to say 100% she was brainwashed. You know what I'm saying? She was a grown woman. And like he said, she liked getting pissed on, you know, which is, it sounds crazy. You know what I mean? So is she 100% innocent in this situation? In my opinion, no. Yeah, she got beat up and she should have left, and Diddy shouldn't did that. But then again, it's like you stayed. You know what I mean? And I know I'm a man, I'm saying that, but I hear other women say the same thing. You stayed, you should have left. You stayed, you should have left. You know what I mean? But this is day one. You know, this is day one of the trial. It's gonna be very interesting. And they're supposed to play the video again, I guess, tomorrow, whatever. But this is day one, man. So far, in my opinion, it's a 50-50. It's a 50-50. You know what I'm saying? Most of the stuff that they played today was basically the freak offs, him beating up Cassidy. None of this was basically what he's on trial for. So is it a win for a Cassie team? No. Is it a big win for Diddy team? Not really. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? On the 50-50. But listen, man, that's all I got. I don't know. I might come on tomorrow. I'm not sure. I usually don't really do live, but we'll see. But I hope y'all enjoy the stream, man. Hope y'all like and subscribe. Tell me y'all think in the comments, man. Y'all think Diddy's really guilty or he might get off on this? Tell me what y'all think. Man, y'all have a good night.